Happy Halloween, fellow insomniacs, and I would like, if I may, to take you on a very strange journey. Hello and welcome to the Halloween episode of the Creature Features podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and on YouTube. And I'm so grateful that this one's going to be on YouTube because we're about to get fucking nutty. One of the all-time classic, essential Halloween films is what we're going to be discussing today. I don't know if my costume gives anything away, but we're going to be talking about the 1975 classic film, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You've seen all kinds of movies, but you've never seen anything like The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
They're probably foreigners with ways different than our own.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
See The Rocky Horror Picture Show. A different set of jaws. Rated R.
There is quite literally only one person that I could think of that I'd want to have a conversation about the Rocky Horror Picture Show with, and that is my very best friend in the entire fucking world. She is the Frankenfurter to my Eddie. She carved my brain out to give it to a muscular man. And she's the reason why we're doing any of this. Ladies and gentlemen, my best friend, Miss Tragic Rawr. How you doing, friend?
Hi. Hey, I was just wondering, I may have fucked up and I lost the directions to the Frankenstein place, so
buy an umbrella, you cheap bitch.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So,
Hi, bud. How's it going? This is one of the Halloween absolute musts every year for me, so I am so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
100%, dude. So I have a hard time figuring out where we're gonna start this conversation
On a night out.
but I really think, because this is Halloween and because, a lot of people, when Halloween rolls around, when they're doing horror podcasts, the one that they want to discuss more often than not is Halloween. But I think that that's so fucking basic bitch and plain and dumb, because for me,
It was a night out.
when I think of Halloween, I think of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And so I guess that the place I want to start off with this is, what was your very first experience with the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Like most stories I've shared with you over my film loving history, this is one that I was exposed to at way too young of an age.
Just 7 hours out.
The earliest I can remember watching Rocky Horror was about 5 or 6 years old.
Nice. And
Thanks.
was it?
I think it shaped a lot of who I became.
Help me, mommy.
My mom and my uncle absolutely loved Rocky Horror, and so we watched it quite frequently on VHS. I can't point to a specific time or a specific experience, because it seemed to always, that was one that was always around, always playing growing up. So I was exposed to it all of my childhood. Also, my mom had, do you remember those huge stereo consoles that also had the 8-track and the record player in it?
Oh, yeah.
One of the records we had was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So it would get played on the big stereo too. So I don't know. So I don't have a specific experience with this one because I grew up with it.
And see, so for me, my parents, black dad, white mom, dated black guys. So Rocky Horror Picture Show wasn't like in the vernacular for my family. It's, soul music and that kind of shit. Very very much. I would be the Brad Majors in this situation, and completely uninitiated, like very beige, if you will. And I was, I want to say 10 or 11. This was like fourth or fifth grade, and we had just moved to this place, and up the street from our house was this video store. This is the video store that I always talk about, that I
Hmm.
would go and like straighten the shelves to get free rentals and shit, right? So they did a re-release of the Rocky Horror Picture Show on VHS, and it was the red cassette. I don't know if you ever saw that
Yeah,
one.
I saw the red cassette. Yes, I saw that
So
at some point in time in my life.
I I was immediately drawn to it, like the red lips on the black fucking picture or the black poster, and I was just like,
What's this? Let's see.
and so I knew nothing about it, like fuck all, literal fuck all. And I was like, Mom, can I rent this movie? And she was like, Yeah, I guess. She didn't know what the fuck it
She had.
was. So I take it home and I go and I watch it in my room by myself.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you even understand half of it? Like
I
how confusing of a like oh man, sorry. Go
yeah,
on.
dude, no. I literally
Confusing.
I was like my jaw was on the floor because I was like, what the fuck did I grab? Because it just, cool looking poster, red VHS cassette. And I was like,
Right.
this looks cool. This must be fucking neat. And then the movie happens. And I was like,
What's come over me?
this is my very first musical that I ever fucking saw.
No way.
I swear to fucking God, dude. Like,
Nuh-uh.
I
Like you
swear to
had to have
God.
had little shop under your belt or something by
No,
then.
at this point, actually, you know what? Maybe Little Shop.
Maybe little shop, but
Maybe.
sorry. Like I
But
just
if it just like it was so unlike anything I had ever fucking seen. And
right.
it was like my fucking brain exploded. And I was so compelled by it. Like if in any other situation I would have probably turned it off, but it was just so fucking odd.
Weird and unique
Yeah.
and just as a kid watching it you're just like what is this like and part of your brain goes why like and you're like for me anyway growing up with it even though I grew up with it I was still confused by it
Yeah.
I just loved it I loved it was a musical. I loved that it was weird. I couldn't quite put my finger on it why I loved it, but that kind of led me into, okay, I need to explore this like when I get a little older, like why do I love this so much? So,
Yeah. No, so here's a question that I have for you. Did you ever go to any of the midnight showings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
To fight through the months ahead for my personal
They must have a blowout.
the time and
Damn it! I knew I should have gotten that spare tire fixed. Well, you just stay here and keep warm, and I'll go for help.
Where will you go? We're in the middle of
the
nowhere.
great issues of peace.
Didn't we pass a castle back down the road a few miles? Maybe they have a telephone I could use.
sadly, no. I was never able to go to one of the midnight showings, and that is like my life's biggest regret is that I haven't been able to go. And a big chunk of it is because I don't have anybody to go with. And I don't want to go by myself for something like that. Something like a group of people enjoy together and in solidarity and celebrating this monstrous film, like this beautifully monstrous film together. I did get to hear about my mom going before I was born and how much fun that was. And my uncle told me about the times that he went. And I know I have said it in the past, but my mom was a theater kid. So that's why I had so much exposure to all musicals growing up. to include Rocky Horror. And I remember this is probably 20 years ago now. I have an anniversary edition and it included the audience participation mode in the special features. So I finally got to hear and see like the audience playing along with the movie, like as if you're watching the Shadowcast.
Yeah.
But I had heard like the fun lines that you hear the audience say all of my life. And unfortunately, I've never got to experience that in the real world.
So, in high school, I had to have been like junior, or no, sophomore. So it wasn't the first year of high school; it was the second year of high school. I had a friend who was kind of like a friend of a friend, and they were like, because at that point I had fucking like I had already purchased the cassette and I like the movie. And I was like in love with it. And they were like, "Oh, we heard that you like Rocky Horror Picture Show." And I was like, "Yeah, I fucking love that shit." Right. And they were like, "Well, did you know that Travis does, he performs on stage?" And so they, every Saturday night in Berkeley, would go do the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So they were like, "Did you want to go watch it in the theater?"
Whoa, here it comes again.
And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, that sounds fucking amazing." And I didn't know that people like performed on the stage. Like, I was completely, this is pre-internet. So you
Right.
only know about it like if
The only
somebody
reason why
tells you.
I knew about it is because people went. Like my mom went to one and she told me how much fun it was. And so I can totally understand you not knowing going in if you hadn't been told.
So the first time I went and seen Rocky Horror Picture Show in the theater, with the full cast and everything, again, it's Berkeley, it's in the middle of the night, and fucking, you know, there's people lined up outside of the building, and like they're all dressed in like various like I could recognize characters from the movie standing in line waiting to enter the theater. And there's people like driving down the street playing music that's like, you know, my kind of music, and, you know, people smoking weed and, you know, cigarettes, and everybody's fucking cool. And they were like, "You got to draw a V on your hand, on the back of your hand." I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "Because you're a virgin." "Not a fucking virgin. What the fuck are you talking about?" "No, you're a virgin to the show." And I was like, "Okay." So they took fucking lipstick and they wrote V's on the backs of both of my hands. And anytime somebody saw it, they would pinch me, or they'd like pull you close and like fuck with you. And I was just like, you know, like before even getting into the theater, it was a whole ass experience. And that in and of itself was like, wow, this is fucking amazing. And then I got in the theater, and when they do the opening part where the lips are singing, they did a striptease to the science fiction double feature. And I just like, I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Like, I didn't know what was going on. And it was just like, it's like a sensory fucking overload. And so that happens. And, you know, I'm hooting, hollering, and roaring. And then people start yelling at the screen as she's stripping. And, you know, so it's like, and fucking and sucking on Brad and Janet. And it just like, I was like, yo, what's going on? Because they're doing it in unison. Mm-hmm. And it just, again, it's like, this is unlike anything I've ever fucking experienced. And I'm, you know, young, and, you know, everybody is in on it. And I'm just like, what is fucking happening? And then, like, the show goes on, and the wedding sequence happens, and they're throwing fucking rice, and you know um Dr. Scott comes in, and they're throwing fucking toilet paper, and it's just like the windshield wipers, and they're asshole slut, asshole slut. It's just like, I need this every weekend. And my buddy Travis played Riff Raff, and it was like, I remember like leaving the theater and just being like elated, and I didn't want to like be. I wanted to be cool because these people were cool to me, so I tried to play it cool. But in my head, in my little chubby kid head, I'm just fucking so like giddy because it feels like I found a group of people that are like me, like they're weird and they're not conformists, and it just like I was like, can I come next weekend? And they were like, yeah, of course, dude. And I went every fucking weekend the entire sophomore year. Like, it became a Saturday ritual for me.
That's amazing, though, that you got to do that. I just,
Dude,
again, I'm very
it,
jealous of that.
uh, whenever we fucking see each other in the really real world, we're gonna find a fucking shadow cast, and we're gonna go. Like,
Okay.
and I'm gonna make you draw a V on the back of your hand, and people are gonna fuck with you, and you're gonna love it.
Hmm.
Because it's not mean. It's all in fucking good fun. It's
Right.
playful.
Absolutely. And that's something that I always wanted to experience. Was the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I've seen the movie 1,500 times. I know the lines. Now I just want to be around the crowd. So to your point of you found your people, the nonconformists and stuff like that, because I grew up with this, I was kind of skewed because of it. Like, oh no, Rocky Horror's totally normal.
Yeah,
And you talk to like regular people and they're like, what is that? And you're like, what is Rocky Horror? Oh my gosh, let me let me lend this to you. And then they look at you
yeah,
away.
yeah.
It's
And,
like,
so that's one of the most interesting things to me, is that there are two types of people. There are
mm-hmm,
people that understand it, and people that hate it. And the people that hate it, I feel so sorry for. Like, I can't be mad at you because you don't get it. I kind of pity that you are unwilling to, embrace it and everything.
right.
And that kind of element to me is like, it's one of the most like important parts of what Rocky Horror Picture Show is that, it isn't about, like, it's a good movie. It's not the best made movie, but that's done by design.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about the experience, the community of it, and those elements, and blurring the lines of what's acceptable. And go ahead.
And when they were making that wasn't like that was the intention whenever it was the stage show, but they had no idea that the movie was going to garnish 50 years of a cult following. And I feel like that is just something that you never know. Like you put something out into the world and 50 years from now it could still be around, it could still be fun and I love the camp of it.
Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Fred!
Rucker! Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Fred!
Rucker!
And I love that it's kind of corny and cheesy and some of the prettiest lyrics that you could ever hear in my opinion are from Frankenfurter's I'm Going Home. Like so the music itself is phenomenal.
Yes.
And there's no other way of putting that. I noticed you have this lovely coif of hair, and Meatloaf being one of the characters, Eddie. that part of the movie has always been one of my favorite parts of the movie because it is such a fun time. At every corner of this movie, you go through a roller coaster of confusion and emotions, and that's what makes it so that I think that's what makes it stand the test of time, to be honest.
Well, I think that part of it has to do with that. I think another part of it has to do that with the fact that this film speaks to others,
Hmm.
people that have been othered by society. It's not just homosexuals, it's not just, transgenders, it's not just, you know, like people that have these alternative lifestyles. It's people that feel like they don't fit in or belong.
Right.
And it's about having a sense of belonging, a sense of community. And you know, I don't necessarily know if the movie itself is saying that, but I feel like it is. I feel like Brad and Janet represent repressive, conservative ideology.
Midwestern.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so they get this culture shock of this entire like world that exists outside of their normality, and being confronted with this alternative to the world that they've grown to experience and know kind of pushes them to embrace what's underneath the surface. And so like in the scene where they get transduced, uh
Hmm.
and Brad is perfect, like, person to represent that, but also Janet, she says, I feel released. Like that that line in and of itself is just a perfect fucking line that really expresses what their characters are supposed to be. Is these people that are fucking you know in a kind of prison of their expectations, like when you're introduced to them, they're very much the pseudo teenage nuclear family you know characters. It's like, oh, by golly, and that whole thing. Say, Janet, I just wanted to say I really love the skillful way beat the other girls to the bride's bouquet. And it's
It's so the romanticized young adult teen. You get out of school, you go to college, and you get married. That's what you do.
yeah,
In that mindset. So
like it's nicer than Betty Monroe had. Now we're engaged, and I'm so glad. It's just like she goes from that to touch me, to and it's just like
I think
uh
Janet's journey throughout this whole movie is so great. Because women tend to be mostly like if you're not a little bi, just a little like I think most women are. I think
yeah,
most women are a little there, and I think women are more open to experience things, but as opposed to Brad, who was like, no, you had to really push him to the end of that movie before
yeah,
he started having fun.
he got turned the fuck out. This is what happened. Frank used that mouth on him, and then he was a-okay with the fucking fishnets. And Meatloaf, because we talked about Meatloaf a little bit. So Meatloaf, when he was added to the cast, because they had moved, it started as a play in London, and
Hmm.
it was a huge success. And like there were all these people that were going to it, and they ended up um, going and like moving it to LA, and they had it at the Roxy, which was
Mm-hmm.
big theater in LA. Lots of rock stars and celebrities would go to the Roxy, and Meatloaf was brought in to play Eddie and Dr. Scott. And his initial impressions were he saw Frankenfurter and he was like, "What is this shit? I'm out of here."
Mm-hmm.
And then he understood it, and he's like this, Texas good old boy, and for him to fucking understand it and embrace it is, I think, you know important in the idea that it's a disarming of these conventional beliefs of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and having fun, having a good fucking time, and not holding these things to be so serious, and just like having a good time.
Well, Meatloaf specifically was also in Hair.
Yeah.
And so he was a, hell, he's one of the all-time vocalists in my opinion. And he was also in Hair. I don't know if you remember VH1's Behind the Music, but I was invested in that show. And Meatloaf, I remember him talking about his experience in Hair and running around naked and like Dawning of the Age of Aquarius. To go from that to Rocky Horror is that's a hell of a jump.
Yeah. And Hair is another one of those films that, or plays, that are so counterculture that
Hmm.
it's essential. I think that there's an essential quality to both of those plays, films, and that you know
Well, the mid 70s saw a boom of rock operas.
yeah,
And so that's actually been mentioned in multiple things. So not just Hair, but Rocky Horror,
Jesus Christ
Jesus Christ
Superstar.
Superstar, Godspell. There's a lot. There was a huge resurgence, or not even a resurgence, but
Boom.
a boom of it.
Yeah.
And whenever I watched A Strange Journey, that was one of my favorite parts of the documentary is, oh, another rock opera.
Yeah. Like, and it's a
So,
lot of these people were working all of these different plays.
mhm.
And so Richard O'Brien was working on Jesus Christ Superstar, and he ended up getting like booted from the production, and the director told him like, "Hey, we'll work together, don't worry, I think you're really good." And he ended up becoming the director of Rocky Horror, because it was
Mhm.
the Rocky Horror Show, was what the stage play was called. They added picture for the movie. And so the Strange Journey documentary is, I I don't know about you, but I didn't personally like learn anything new that I hadn't already heard, just from like being a fan. And
I think it's wonderful that Richard O'Brien took center stage for that documentary and that his son was so heavily involved in it as well.
yeah, his son's the
Um,
director.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely thought I loved that aspect of it, but again, Rocky Horror has been around for so long, all the stories have kind of been told about
Yeah.
it.
And
So
if you're obsessed with it or you're a fan of it, you've looked into it, especially in the internet age. I
mhm.
remember when the internet became more accessible to us. I used to go up the hill to the local college, and they had internet in the library, the dial-up internet, where it's the all of that shit to get online, and it took forever for shit to load. And you watch the shit just kind of like scroll down and it get larger or whatever. I was looking up Rocky Horror Picture Show shit. I knew
Mhm.
who Sal Piro was, you know, because of like obsessing over this film. And me and my buddy Steve, we would go up there and like we'd learn about the shadow cast and all of that stuff after the fact of like, because so the way that it kind of worked is like I had experienced it, he hadn't. And so we would go to these things. I eventually got to take him to one, and he's gay, so it was like for him, it was like a moment. And whenever you get to take somebody for their first time to one of these shows, it's like you get to experience it for the first time. And
Right.
I just remember like we're sitting in the theater watching the show, and I kind of look over, he's crying. He's literally crying because he's so fucking happy. And it's amazing. This whole thing is special. And before he'd ever went to the show live, had our hero Sal Piro written on a shirt, like he loved the shit. And so I just think that kind of importance can't be undersold.
Ever had coffee so good it turns your morning into a full moon? Gruesome Brew Coffee. Embrace the darkness. Order now at gruesomebrew.com.
Delicious things to.
And away we go. Whoa, whoa.
Halloween season is shining bright. Miami Fox streaming streams tonight. Slasher films and ghostly beams. Money galore dancing in your dreams. The season long, the chills run deep. The shadows creep, the monsters leave. We bring the fear you can't ignore. The screams will echo evermore. Life's a pumpkin, feel the heat. Our hard souls are oh so sweet. The silver screen is full of fright. The moon is high, the stars ignite. The movies play will make you shake. With every step the ground will break. The night is long, the chills run deep. The shadows creep, the monsters leap. We bring the fear you can't ignore. The screams will echo evermore. We light the fire, you feel the heat. Our harder souls are oh so sweet. We bring the fear you can't ignore. The screams will echo evermore. We bring the fear you can't ignore. The screams will echo evermore.
And away we go. Whoa, whoa.
But I feel like we could talk about this movie kind of forever. Like the stuff around the exterior. Let's talk about the movie itself. And for you, Rawr, who is your favorite character?
My favorite character is Magenta.
I see all.
It's always going to be Magenta.
Yes, dude. Yes.
I just love her. Like from the moment you see her slouched on the stair banister, and
He's lucky. I'm lucky. We're all lucky.
I love her.
Yeah. So for me, so I think the better question is, if you were to play any character, which character would you want to play?
Magenta. She's got the best resting bitch face I've ever seen in cinematic history. It's lovely.
I'm so glad you picked Magenta because as much as people would want me to play Eddie just based on size, I've always wanted to be Riff Raff.
Hello.
I love that character. I feel like so spoiler alert for this 50-year-old movie. When Riff Raff and Magenta kill Frankenfurter, you know, just like,
Oh, you like them. They liked you.
They didn't like me! They never liked me!
and you see the little single tear rolling down his cheek. Like, he is the one that I relate to the most.
Slow Morpheus, slow, let the sun and light come streaming into my life. Into my
Why does he try to make out with his sister?
It's weird, right?
That's never been explained, and I'm okay with that not being explained. I don't need to know.
They're probably foreigners with ways different than our own.
I'm just gonna use that as the catch-all for shit we don't get.
Like, aliens, dude. They're fucking aliens. Aliens do all kinds of weird shit.
The reason why I love Magenta so much is because, she's supposed to be one of the servants. Yeah. At any point in time when she's not singing or being a pervert, we love that for her, by the way. She's got a look on her face like everything that I'm hearing could have been an email.
Yes.
Like, I can't stand this self-congratulating fuckhead any longer. Like, she's over it, like, from the very beginning all the way to the end.
I grow weary of this world. When shall we return to Transylvania, huh?
If you could play a female character, which one would it be? And I'll tell you my male.
Oh, Columbia.
That poor girl.
Again, I tend to lean towards the more tragic characters. And to me, both Riff Raff and Columbia are the most tragic characters in the story. Riff Raff is legitimately, he feels like he's just there. Like he isn't respected by Frank. And one of the ideas that I had about this film is that Frank has little pets and he'll put them on the shelf for the next pet. And so it was probably Riff Raff at first, and then it was Magenta, then it was Columbia, then it was Eddie, then it was Rocky. And Brad and Janet are, just kind of playthings. But like, that's the way that I look at it. Like, these are all people that have been spurned by Frankenfurter. And the way that they react to it is different based on their different personalities. But your male character.
Well, I don't even consider Frankenfurter male or female, so I'm not even putting him in the... Of course, I would love to do Frankenfurter, absolutely. But I thought about this. I thought about this long and hard. I'd want to try to be Brad. I love that. Like, if I were to try to play a character that would challenge the hell out of me, it would be Brad. Because he is the exact opposite of what my mindset is, and I just think it would be fun to try to walk around in tighty whities.
He owns those tighty whities, man. Him and Janet.
He does. I swear to God, by the way, I was watching the movie this morning. I swear to God, his underwear changes every single time I watch that movie. I know it's not true, but like, just in my brain, no, his underwear has changed multiple times. in 50 years.
So, fun story. I watched this movie on Disney Plus.
Because Frankenfurter's a Disney princess now.
How about that?
There was something that I noticed, and it was in one of the latter music sequences when they all get transduced. And so Rocky's vocals are changed. Like it sounds different. And, you watch this movie enough times, you hear it a certain way. And I was watching it on Disney Plus, and I was like, this isn't the same. They've I don't know if it's like,
that's weird. I have to look into that because I watched it on DVD.
Yeah.
And like I said, my DVD is like 20 years old. So I wondered, like.
Let me ask you a question. Does your DVD have the song that plays after the castle flies away?
So yes, I actually have on my DVD, it's not only it's the audience participation mode that you could put on, but it's also the UK version and the US version. So you could pick one or the other. And I think the song at the end is in the UK version.
Yes, because that was the version that I had seen with the red cassette. The red cassette had that. And then it felt like a fever dream, because in every other version that I've seen, it just shows them on the ground and the panning up, and then it goes into the storyteller, doing his little spiel at the end. And that's how it is on the Disney Plus version too. But it's like, I was like, no, I know that I'm not misremembering this. There's like a whole sequence where each of them have another moment where they're
like
singing.
they're all like crawling around in the dirt trying to get to each other and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, that's a whole thing that you're not imagining that. So.
It's so weird to me that there's so many like things. Like, why would you take that out? I think it's fucking important in it, but I guess movement and pace. But why do you need to move when the movie is over? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they would take that out.
Let's talk about the awkwardness of this Frankenstein's monster story a little bit. I love that Rocky is brought to life and is immediately thrusted into song and dance and being chased by his creator lustfully. Yeah, no, girl, same. Get it. I totally get it. Like, how weird getting you're born and you're already singing and you're being chased.
Oh, woe is me. My life is a mystery.
Whoa.
Can't you see that I'm at the start of a pretty big downer?
My favorite thing about one of my favorite things about the movie is one of the movies that I can only think of that actually shows different attractions. So you have Rocky Horror, who is like the muscle, the trim. He's like super, greasy. and it's Frankenfurter's perfect man. And how he's so pretty. And then you have Eddie. Who is he's a little chubby. He's considered, a bum. He rides a motorcycle, which at one point in time was like the worst fucking thing, like,
yeah, he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy, and Columbia just goes absolutely nutty for him. And later on in the movie, you hear about Frank saying, "You think it was a bad idea splitting the brain between the two of them?" And I absolutely love how that's highlighted, that people are attracted to different bodies. People are attracted to different types. And it's so perfectly illustrated in this movie. I just always thought that was awesome.
I like that it shows that, but then it inevitably devolves into just everybody make out with everybody. Like, it's to me, it's like, it's excess. It's this kind of excess that, you hear about in like Roman civilization. Like it's all of the taboos thrown into one thing, and it normalizes them all. And it's so fucking appealing. It's in the sense that it's like, oh, well, I really like the way that Susan Sarandon looks, but who the fuck doesn't like how Susan Sarandon looks? Like,
If you don't like how Susan Sarandon looks in this movie, there's something wrong with you, I think.
facts.
But that, like I was telling you earlier when we were watching the movie, when I was a kid, and I know this sounds weird to say, whenever I was younger, I thought she had the most perfect breasts I've ever seen on a human, and I don't. And that's me as you know, a 10-year-old. Like, wow, she's perfect. Why is she
Yeah.
so perfect?
Yeah. So I don't know if they talked about it. I think they talked about it in Strange Journey that she got kind of duped into being in the movie.
Yeah, she did.
Mm.
And I thought that was a really cool highlight that they were having Barry audition for the role of Brad and they just said bring her along.
Yeah.
And that's how she ended up getting the role of Janet. So,
So did you know that they were dating at that time?
mhm,
I,
yeah.
I didn't know that until like just recently.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Because, you look at Barry Bostwick and he kind of has a Tim Robbins quality to him.
He does. That's funny.
He really does. Like
Sorry, I just made that
she's,
connection.
she's got a type.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does. And can
yeah.
we just say, like, even though this was 50 years ago, I like Patricia Quinn still looks amazing. So does I think Barry Bostwick got prettier with age. I don't know if that makes sense or not. That man has been pretty for the last 20 years, but I never found him attractive when he was young Brad.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Not even when he was all dolled up.
Mm-mm.
Really?
It
That's
was the
interesting.
personality. Like
Yeah.
he just seems like a square.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think that that's a testament to his acting because you could tell I've he's been at our con a couple of times, this Mr.
mhm.
Creature Con, and yeah, he is playing against type in that film. He's a very, very animated and interesting guy.
So what's your favorite song throughout the whole movie?
Oh, so it's a toss up between There's a Light and I'm Going Home.
I love I'm Going Home. That is
It's
just
so beautiful.
breaks you. I like, and Tim Curry, who is a god, let's just be honest about that. We worship that man around here. Um, how he sang that and then played it
Hmm.
was so powerful. You almost forget that you are in this strange and unique and campy type of movie because it is a beautiful performance.
So I want to just go off of that and say, did you feel like it was still a manipulation on his part?
I've thought about that for years, actually. Like, what was he manipulating everyone to feel sorry for him because he was such a narcissist and all that kind of stuff? So, but I honestly think because he had the delusion that there was a whole audience watching him and applauding him for his performance, I think he knew he was towards the end.
Yeah,
I really do. I think he was losing touch with reality at that point. Obviously, if you thought the whole theater was filled with people applauding you and over,
wanting
so
autographs.
yeah. And I honestly, I've thought about it for years. Like, was he just being a dickhead? But
Yeah,
I think he was truly he was at the end,
I think that
and
it's
he knew he was at the
interesting
end.
with that performance, with that character, that it
Hmm.
could be seen both ways.
Yeah.
because he's a very androgynous character just to begin with, so he can be seen both ways. And so you can see it from a place of vulnerability, but you can also see it as a term or a type of gaslighting. And is he gaslighting the audience into feeling sympathy for what's about to happen to him because he's aware of what's going to happen and he wants to be adored even in death? And so both work, and that's, I think, the strength of this song or this performance, this entire character, is that he can be seen in whatever light you want to see him as. You can see him as a monster. You can see him as, a creature of sexuality. You can see him as, a hero. You can see him as the villain, and you can see him in all of these different lights because he's like a Rorschach test of where your sensibility is at the time that you're watching the film, and kind of like based on your headspace at the time that you're watching the film, you get a different understanding of who Frankenfurter is.
Right.
It's not inherently one or the other. It's an amalgam of all of them.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. I go back and forth on what my favorite is. I'm Going Home is I think the best in the movie. I do love science fiction double feature though. There's something about it that just gets you like, okay, I I've already seen this 1,000 times, but there's something about that song that just like, yes, I am ready for this ride. And it's I love how soft spoken it is. I love how it's not belty and over the top, and it's just almost like a lullaby.
Yes.
And I think it's perfect. I think it's one of those perfect songs.
And I like the idea that Richard O'Brien is the voice and Patricia Quinn is the lips. Like that is it
She killed that lip sync too. My
fucking
God.
God, dude. Like she would have a career on TikTok. But it's just kind of the marriage of that is basically giving you an idea of what you're walking into, in the sense that things aren't necessarily as they seem, that things can be more than one thing. And to me, I really feel like this film has like, that's its strength, is that it can be so many things to so many different people. It can be just a fun, campy experience. It can be, your place where you find your tribe. It can be,
it can be an awakening of some sort. It could be a weird education or gateway into education, if you will. One of the things that I love about this movie, being a female, is watching all of the female characters and how they are written in this movie. So, as you'd said previously about Janet's journey through this movie, I feel like women are more open-minded to experience new things, but also Columbia and Magenta. One of my favorite things is when Janet is getting ready to educate herself with with Rocky, and Columbia and Magenta are just like hound dogs watching on the monitor. Just the voyeurism of that is just so great. And being a proper lady and whatnot, at one point in time, it was told to me that women don't like sex and women don't get horny and all that kind of stuff. So seeing these two just like, yeah, we're about to watch some real life porn. I always thought it was just a phenomenal like scene in this that, oh yeah, no, the girls love this shit too. And like it's not a secret and it shouldn't be a secret, that women like women like porn, women like sex, and I think this is one of those movies, one of the rare movies where women are just like allowed to be,
Yeah.
and it's really cool.
I also like that Columbia's wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah,
Because again, I watched this on
it's on
Disney
Disney Plus now.
It's canon. It's officially canon.
Officially canon.
And so it's you're nail on the fucking head with that, because it destigmatizes things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I love the fact that, you know, Janet is upset with Brad for doing what she just did with Frank. Like they did the exact same scene with Janet and then Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, how could you? Even though she just did it. Like,
that may go to that going back to her like regressing into her Midwestern mind of like, yeah, she just did it, but that's a guy on guy thing. That might be like a step too far. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would she have been upset if it was Columbia with him?
Right. Like maybe not. Who knows? But it's a really good observation.
Yeah. I just that was one of the things that I saw watching it this time, where I was like, that's weird that she'd be upset even though she literally just did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it ultimately is what pushes her towards freeing herself.
Mm-hmm.
and embracing her sexuality, because, you know, she has this regret, this guilt for what she does, and then she sees that Brad did it, and she's like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not going to, you know, be this thing that
It's not even a fuck this. It's a coy little well, you know,
Yeah.
or you know, the moment that she looks off to the camera, like her before her and Rocky are getting ready to go at it, and she has that little smirk.
Mhm.
It's almost like the coyest little, I'm gonna fuck this dude, and no one's gonna stop me. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be super adorable about it. Like, there's no other way to put that.
Her eyes are so fucking phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
you talked about how great her breasts are. Her eyes.
She's a beautiful woman. She's always been a beautiful woman.
Yes, 100%. But like, the thing that really just stands out to me is her eyes in every single moment, because it's the strength of her performance starts at her eyes and it just kind of bleeds down from that. And so there's, you know, the meek Janet, the strong Janet, and all of the stuff in between, but it all seems to exist around her eyes. And that is just fucking phenomenal.
Especially
acting.
that glycerin tear.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tear that's just stuck onto her face. I love that. Where's Brad? Where's anybody? So, as far as what is your favorite music sequence? Not necessarily your favorite song, but what
Time
is
Warp.
is it Time Warp?
It's Time Warp. Like, I want to say Sweet Transvestite, but it's Time Warp. Time Warp is just fun.
Mine's Hot Patootie, honestly. Like, because I love how, you know, out of nowhere you have Eddie just bursting in, and as a viewer, you're like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm having a damn good time with it. That's one of my favorites. Favorite Frank moment.
Oh, yeah, that's Sweet Transvestite, 100%. Like that, like I watching it this time around, just the power of that sequence. You know, I'm coming down the stairs, the stiletto fucking hitting the elevator as he's coming down. Like, it's just, it builds, and he turns around and it's like, wow. And then it's
easily one of the best entrances of a character.
But like the cape toss is like, it builds to the cape toss, and all of it, it feels like you're he's tearing like Eddie fucking smashes through, ice. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Scott bursts through fucking tile. You know, Frankenfurter just takes a cape off, and it's more impactful than both of those to me. It's like a revelatory moment that just is larger than life, and it's theatrical, and it's massive, and it's just like, holy shit, this is, especially like the first time you see it, you're like, what's going on, and he turns
Either
around and
way,
you're
you
like,
know that this is a
whoa.
big deal.
Yeah.
So,
And it's the way that they shoot him, the way that, they move the camera, but it's also really just, it's Tim Curry. He's like in god mode this entire film, and I love that they have different outfits that are all ostensibly the same outfit. Like he's, in like a corset, fucking undies, and like a garter belt and fucking fishnets, and but like, he's got the doctor version of it. He's got his formal dinner wear
I
version
like
of
the
it.
jean jacket or the jacket version of
The
it where
leather
he was
jacket
he
version.
was he was whipping
Riff
Riff
Raff.
Raff,
Yeah.
and that was my I think that was my favorite look. That was my favorite Frank look. And I think my favorite Frank like moment is right after everyone, they pulled a lever and everyone was turned into those fantastic fucking statues, which I feel like you haven't made it in life unless you have a naked statue of someone. So that's like a life goal of mine.
Same.
Um, but he looks at the camera and says,
Even smiling makes my face ache.
and that is to me one of the like it's an iconic just moment for me. And I love the idea of Magenta walking around just like super pissed off that she's even there. And then Frank also does it as well with his facial expressions throughout the movie. Like, everyone is so beneath me. I am so over this, So again, it's the expressions in this movie, I think, are just tippy top.
So I feel like we could stay here forever, but I think it's time we get into Reapers. Rawr, do I even have to ask you what your Reapers are for
I
this?
don't think you do. I mean, do you see me right now? 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. This is not only is this a Halloween favorite, this is one of my favorite musicals of all time. And to the people who they don't like it, I could be nice and say, well, maybe it's just not for you. But I'm gonna be a bitch and I'm gonna say flat out that I don't want to associate with you. Like you can't be my friend. So like you can fuck off for all I care. But yeah, no, totally 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something very rare, and I'm gonna break my own rating system. This is a 6 out of 5. I fucking love this movie so fucking much. It has been with me throughout the entirety of me becoming who I am as a person, and stepping outside of, the world that I grew up in the sense that, there's the world that I knew until I could decide for myself. And I look at that the same way that it's when you start picking your own music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In the sense that, you when you're a kid, you have to listen to whatever your parents listen to. Whatever your family is into is basically who that's your personality. But until you're able to choose for yourself, you can't develop your own personality. And this was right at the beginning of me developing my own personality. And
Right.
It made me more accepting of people that weren't like me.
Mm-hmm.
It made me more understanding of things that I didn't understand, and it made me more willing to understand things I didn't understand.
I'm just going to interrupt you just for a
By all
second.
means.
Sometimes it's okay to not understand and just continue to roll. Like sometimes it's okay to, oh, I don't get it. Sometimes you don't have to get it. Just Just go with it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is to me one of the most important films of my life. It is a way that I've been able to, open myself up to worlds that I would have closed myself up to if I had not seen it. And I think that in and of itself is the importance of this film. But that's just the way that I see it. I love you so much for going on this journey with me, and I want you to please, by all means, tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Tragic Rawr on TikTok and Instagram. And I know I get on this little high horse about how everything sucks and doesn't matter what's going on. I will say, though, if you follow me, you will get a giggle almost every morning. I'll try to put a smile on your face. Right now, or for the month of October, I've been posting a video every day highlighting my favorite songs from horror movie soundtracks, and that has been a blast to do. So, but in true Rawr fashion, you never know what you're going to get when you come to my page.
Amen to that. And that's why we keep coming. Back. If you guys are here just because you love Rawr, which I do not blame you, but you've enjoyed the episode, I want to say thank you. You want to find out more about us, you can do that in a couple of different ways. You can start by liking us on Facebook, facebook.com/CreaturePod, and all over the world of social media at CreaturePod. That's, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, Threads, all of them. At CreaturePod, you'll be able to find my fucking goofy face. I have a little bit less hair usually. But, if you enjoyed hearing me and Rawr talk about movies, guess what? I got a little treat for you. Next week, she's going to be back, because next week we're going to be talking about Summer of Sam, which is an underrated, underrepresented horror film that just needs its time, and we're about to give it its time. So if you've enjoyed this conversation but you haven't seen Summer of Sam, this is your heads up to go out of your way and go find Summer of Sam and watch it. fdupmovies.com. Just in case you can't find it on a streaming service, or you don't have it like a physical copy of it, that's a way that you can see it. But again, next week we will be back spoiling the shit out of Summer of Sam. But until next time, for Frankenfurter, for Riff Raff, for Magenta, for Columbia, for Eddie, for Brad, for Janet, for Dr. Von Scott, for Tragic Rawr, and for myself, again, my name is Chunky. This has been another episode of the Creature Features Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Don't dream it, be it, and listen with someone you trust.
Say something.
Say, do one of you guys know how to Madison?
Mm.